detailed decision. We lay out why under Maine law, the Secretary of State has the authority, indeed the obligation, I'm duty bound to make this determination. I laid out that the record demonstrates that, in fact, the events of January 6, 2021, which were unprecedented and tragic, were an insurrection in the meaning of Section 3 of the 14th Amendment. And finally, in reviewing the facts presented, the evidence, the law, the history, we determined under Section 3 of the 14th Amendment that Mr. Trump engaged in insurrection and therefore was disqualified.
Now, I have to say, not only is this an incredibly important decision, but it's a very brave decision. The Trump campaign has already come out attacking you. They have said that you are a virulent leftist and a hyper-partisan Biden-supporting Democrat.
First and foremost, it's important to know my oath to the Constitution, my obligations to the Constitution and rule of law come before any other consideration. No other factors could weigh on that decision and did not. I'm duty bound to both hold a hearing and make a ruling. And under the law, there's a very compressed timeline. In evaluating this, I came to the conclusion that I could not, unfortunately or fortunately, wait for the United States Supreme Court to make a decision. The Maine law required me to issue that decision, which I did today.
What's going on, everyone? It's Toss Kenny here today. We're going to be reacting to Donald Trump getting kicked off by another state ballot in Maine, this time by one person called the press secretary. I forgot her name already, but I kind of want to ask you guys this question. Do you think the Democrats are using the Trump ballot fiasco as a distraction from their policy failings? Because I'm starting to think this is the case. Because as we go through the stories, let's start off with the Maine one, and then I'll give you my thoughts as we go through the articles. Maine kicks Trump off 2024 primary ballot. Shortly after Colorado put Trump back on the 2024 ballot, a top Maine official announced the former president will be disqualified from her state's primary ballot. A ruling on Thursday from the Maine Secretary of State, Sheena Bells, found that Trump's primary petition to be invalid on the view that he violated the 14th insurrection clause due to his conduct living up to the U.S. Capitol breach on January 6th. Now, any smart thinking person who's not a partisan hack would go, okay, if he violated the 14th Amendment, on what charge was he, on what grounds was he charged? Was he charged with insurrection? No, he wasn't. But because the fact that the Maine Secretary of State used whatever she called evidence to justify her belief that, yes, you did participate in insurrection. It's not up to your personal beliefs, lady, on what you think someone did or didn't do. That's just an assumption. That's just a claim. That's just an accusation. You actually have to have proof and validity, and he has to be judged by the system before you can use the system to invalidate his campaign or his name off the primary ballot. She's trying to vein that, and only an MSNBC viewer can sit there and eat up everything she said. You can't make that determination. You can't say you're protecting the Constitution or you're just following the Constitution. I'm not a partisan hack, but look at the low level of evidence that you use to justify your decision. It shows you are. And the guy in the on the show, oh, you took a brave decision. No, you took a dumb decision because you make the Democratic Party look even worse. And this is why this is going to boost Trump even more in the polls. And this is getting ridiculous. Bowles, a Democrat, also rejected bid by Trump's legal team to get her to rescue herself from making a ruling on his eligibility and multiple challenges to his constituency. So apparently, Trump's lawyers try to save her from even making this decision. Trump lawyers want Maine Secretary of State to disqualify herself from ruling on ballot access. But here you are. You still did it. Conflict of interest. But no, you don't have a conflict of interest. No, you don't. Here's House Democrat from Maine who opposed his state's decision to bar Trump from the ballot. A House Democrat from Maine broke with his own state's decision on Thursday to disqualify President Donald Trump from the 2024 primary election. Representative Jared Golden declared his objection shortly after Maine Secretary of State Sheena Bowles, a Democrat, found Trump's primary petition to be invalid. We already saw that. I voted to impeach Trump for his role in the January 6th insurrection. I do not believe he should be reelected as president of the United States. Unlike the lady, this guy understands that's his personal belief. Gordon said in a statement, however, we are a nation of laws, and therefore, until he is found guilty of a crime of insurrection, he should be allowed on the ballot. Democrats, y'all skipping steps. Y'all can't just accuse, and this is my biggest problem with Democrats, liberals, progressives. They automatically assume credibility, and then they think, oh yeah, it's the truth, it's objective, it's factual. No, your feelings are not factual. Gordon represents a congressional district that pulled for Trump in the past two primary presidential elections. Trump is seeking another term in the White House next year, even as he tries to fight off a slew of criminal and civil cases, including one led by special counsel Jack Smith, who is accusing Donald Trump of unlawfully plotting to overthrow the results of the 2020 election. Because someone challenged, like when Democrats, I can go in the past, because Democrats were the first election deniers. When Al Gore barely lost to George Bush, he asked for a recall. He asked for a recount. No one said nothing. No one said he was trying to overthrow the election. No one said anything like that. When Hillary Clinton lost and Democratic senators did not want to certify the election, no one said the Democrats were trying to overthrow the 2016 election. No one said any of that. But Trump merely saw that. Y'all set the precedent. Y'all always do, Democrats. Y'all always set the precedent. Trump said, oh, I could probably do that too. He does it. You say he's trying to overthrow the election, right? And then you get partisan journalists like this Brian guy. Brian has been a feature of my channel for a while now, but I think he honestly is a good representation of liberal thought. And I like I said, I can't be a hypocrite here and try to say, oh, I'm trying to show people in a bad light or a negative light. I'm not going to try to straw man him. I'm going to try to steel man him and let his words speak for itself. And I'm going to try to counteract my thoughts on what he said. The lead up to the Maine decision. This is not a civil war. Interference in an election by claiming you really won and by pushing fake electors to say you won when the results is shown the opposite. That's election interference? No, he's challenging it. He's just saying, hey, I think this is wrong. Let's test it out. Let's hear me out, and then we'll see what it is. But you deny him the opportunity to do something that you allowed Al Gore to do. You allowed Hillary Clinton to do. Hillary Clinton was pushing the Russia hoax. Where was that? No, that wasn't in by your argument here. What Hillary Clinton did by saying that Trump won because of Russian interference is the same case here. But you ain't gonna hold her accountable, liberal journalist. Pretend you did it in the name of fairness, despite virtually every count telling you there is no case. So what? He has no case. He still has the right to challenge it, sir. Right? And this is my problem with liberals. They think they get to pick and choose what you could and can't do. This is why my argument has always been: liberals believe that you have every right to be a liberal and nothing else. You have every right to believe their narrative and nothing else. It's not up to you to decide if someone has a case or not. Because at the end of the day, sir, you can be wrong. And it shows a lack of humility that a lot of liberals have. This is why I say liberals are moral cowards. This is why the progressives can push them around, because they talk ish like this. And at least with the progressive, they have a position. Liberals, they want their position to be vague as possible. And all they want to do is sit back and critique you. Because that's the only thing liberals are good at, critiquing stuff. But they're not good at defending stuff. Claim that the other side is interfering in an election by trying to hold you accountable for interfering in an election. Was he charged with anything? Yeah, I impeached him and they didn't go through, right? So why you need to hold him accountable past his hearing? It's like me saying, hey, you got convicted of murder. So now when you get out of jail, we're going to not give you jobs. We're not going to do and y'all will say that's unfair. Hey, he already served his time. He already was held accountable for his action. We don't need to double charge. We don't need to punish him for the crime again. And this is what you're doing. You're violating the rule of law. This is not law. This is what a power-hungry socialist thinks like. You're going to punish someone again for a crime they already was held accountable for. He lost the election. Why you need to hold? Now you wanted to ban him from being on the ballot? Get your base outraged so you can try it again in 2024. How you know he's going to lose 2024? For the record, I actually think that Trump will probably be re-added to the ballot in the Colorado and Maine. Both the Colorado Supreme Court and Maine Secretary of State knew that their actions would merely push the decision to the U.S. Supreme Court, as it should be. Okay, so you know that. So you know this is just political theater. I will happily accept whatever decision that the conservative-leaning court makes here. I love the bias from liberals. He want to mention how conservative is a conservative-leaning court, but he doesn't mention that all the judges in Colorado was elected by Democrats. All of them are Democrats. All of them were appointed by Democrats. The main conflict of interest, what I just highlighted in the last thing here, that she's heavily involved with the Biden administration, Obama. You saw it in the intro. She has a conflict of interest, but he don't point this out. Typical liberal journalist omitting facts to fit his narrative. See, people, this is what you got to watch out for. I showed you guys. I showed you in the intro. She's affiliated with Obama, Biden, the Maine, right? Trump's lawyers try to get her to recuse herself from weighing in on kicking him off the primary ballot. She refused, but she's following the Constitution. She says, "I'm not doing anything based on partisanship. I'm just following the law. I'm following what is required and I'm called upon to do." But does this journalist mention this? No, because he's a liberal. And this is what I'm talking about, guys. This is why you are your best fact checker. Don't rely on anyone else to do the fact checking for you. That's my own argument here. So I've been rambling on this, but look, Colorado to include Trump on the ballot for now, right? So they're just doing this just to get brownie points from their base. I want to highlight a video because I think all this is just a distraction by Democrats to avoid the reality of what they're bringing more problems to our country with this border security stuff. The mayor, Brandon Johnson, warns that every city service is on the verge of collapse thanks to illegals. But the Democrats still want to proceed. Biden administration still wants to proceed with this open border bullcrap. Let's listen into what Brandon Johnson has to say.
In Chicago, anywhere else in the country, the public good is already stressed. Whether it's our transportation system, our healthcare system, our education system, all of these systems are already stretched to meet the demands of families who have been here. Over the past 7 months, it's been an incredible strain on every aspect of city services, and in Chicago, anywhere else in the country.
As you can see, stress on city services, right? And what is the Democrats doing about it? Massive migrant caravan marches towards U.S. as top Biden officials meet with Mexican president. A migrant of nearly 8,000 people is marching towards the U.S. southern border as Secretary of State Antonio Blinken and Homeland Security Secretary Alejandro Mayorkas are set to meet with Mexican President Andres Manuel Lopez Obrador, I don't know how to say it, in Mexico City on Wednesday to discuss the ongoing border crisis, right? And this is a campaign loss. Like, this is going to be a black eye on the Democrats if they admit that the Republicans were right about border security all along. So I think they're doing a lot of this, like, Maine and Colorado. I don't know. They're doing a lot of this to distract America from the fact that the border is a problem, right? Brandon Johnson's struggling. Eric Adams definitely struggling. But this is the issue that Texas, Arizona has been dealing with for years. But the Democrats, they turn a blind eye. And then they virtue signal like they're doing here with this Maine kickoff, kicking Trump off the ballot stuff. They virtue signal, but it's not something substantive. It's not something that's actually going to help the country. We need to focus on the problems that's actually affecting Americans. Kicking Trump on or off the ballot isn't affecting Americans. Yeah, you're trying to limit our choice. You're trying to control our options. Sure. That's a bad thing, but it's distracting from a more prominent and more immediate need, which is the border. We need to secure the border. The border needs to be closed. It can't be open. We can't keep inviting people and putting strain on our resources and our systems. And it seemed like the only way Democrats are going to learn is if they experience it firsthand. So we gave them what they were looking for. Oh, you're a sanctuary city? This is the best place for migrants? You're open to all? Okay, practice what you preach. Here you go. Now they're complaining about it. Now they're trying to restrict Texas from sending migrants over there. But, but I thought you was open, Brandon Johnson. I thought you was open, Chicago. Y'all sanctuary city, right? You're open and free for all. But then they get the reality. Yo, we don't have enough resources. Because your desires may be infinite, but your resources are finite. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Do you agree with me? Do you think all this Trump ballot stuff is just a distraction to distract away from the failings of the Biden administration and Democratic policies? Let me hear your thoughts in the comment section below. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. I appreciate you guys for watching to the end of the video, and I'll catch you guys on the next one. Peace.